Hi everyone, in this video, let's talk about integrating PocketBase authentications in our DroidScript applications. With PocketBase authentications, you can create and authenticate a user through email and password. This is very common and very simple. And number two is using auth 2 integration. You can also authenticate users as an app user or as an application admin. By the end of this video, you should be able to number one, create a user. Number two, authenticate an app user. Number three, add simple rules to our collection. I have here my Wi-Fi ID already connected to my mobile. Here I am using the PocketBase native project which we have set up in our previous videos. If you haven't watched that video, please watch it first. I think it's the video number 5 in this video tutorial series of cloud services. Since we are working with PocketBase authentication, we are working with the users collection in our PocketBase database. So I have here my PocketBase dashboard, and I have opened this users collection. As for the moment, we have no record in this collection, so we'll try to add record in that collection. First, I will show you the important options in this users collection. So this users collection is of type auth. You can also create your own users collection. So example, you create your new collection. Example name of that collection is my users, and then in this drop down right here, just select auth collection. So it will create a collection of type auth. Now I will show you the important options in this users collection. Click this gear icon and click these options right here. So we have enabled the username and password, so email and password, and auth integration. So we have enabled these three auth methods. And here at the bottom, we have the minimum password length is 8 characters, so you can change this one into how many characters your password should be. We have also this always require email, so I will toggle this one. And forbid authentication for unverified users. For now, I will just let unverified users to authenticate in my application. Okay, save changes. Going back in our project, I will just add the users collection into a variable. Var users equals users. To create a user record in our users collection, we will need an email because we have toggled that in our options. Var data equals, first is email, next is password. To successfully create this record in our users collection, we also need a confirmed password, which must be the same as this value of password at the top. Just like that one, we can now create our first user in our users collection. Okay, so pb.collection, I will just reference that users collection. So pass this users, which is this users collection right here, that create the same as our previous video, that create passing the data of the record that we want to create or we want to push in our users collection. Since this is an asynchronous function, I can listen to the resolve and reject callback that then. So I'll just console.log the record. If there's an error, I will just console.log that error. Okay, run this one. We'll open our debug tab right here. Okay, so failed to create a record. I think this is password confirmed. Let's run it again. Okay, it says that only admins can perform this action. So our data right here is correct. And this one right here is a collection rules error. So we'll go to our users collection, click this gear icon, and open this API rules tab. In this create rule, for now it says admins only. So toggle this lock button right here and leave empty to grant access to everyone. Save the changes. Okay, go back again to our project and then run our code again. It displays objects. That means our user data has been added to our users collection. Okay, if you go to our users collection, I refresh this one, we have the email here, sample@gmail.com, and it creates a random username right here. But you can also pass username in this data. Username equals any username that you want. So sample username maybe. Okay, just like that. I will just comment this one. To authenticate a user, we can use the email and password combination. But first, let's go to the authentication section of this PocketBase docs. In our database dashboard, just click this docs here at the bottom and it will open this PocketBase documentation and click this authentication. In this authentication section, navigate to the authenticate as an app user, and we can use pb.collections, passing the user's collection, and then auth with password, passing the username or the email, and then passing the password, of course. If the authentication is successful, this auth store that is valid will be true. Then we can have our auth store token, and the data of the authenticated user will be stored in this auth store.model object. I will just copy this line right here, and go back to our project in the Wi-Fi ID. Just paste this one, and then I will not use await because our function on start is not an async function. So I will just pass the user's variable here, that auth with password. Our email will be this email. We'll just copy paste this one. But in the actual scenario, you need to have an email text field and also your password text field so that the user can enter their email and password, or username and then password, and then pass the value in this function, in this method right here. And our password is this one. Everything here are hard-coded for now. And then since this is an asynchronous function, I can listen to then and catch callback JSON.stringify to display this object nicely in our debug tab. And if there's an error, I will just console.log.error. Run this application. We have now successfully authenticated a user in our application. We have displayed right here the response object. So we have these fields right here, which are the fields in this user's collection. To perform other CRUD operations such as update, delete, or read operations, you can watch the previous video number 5 and number 6 on this video series tutorials. And for now, I will add a simple collection rules in our post collection, which we have created in our previous video. Okay, so I want the authenticated users only who can add record on that post collection. So in our post collections, you just go to our database and click this post collection. Okay, so we have an empty collections right here. Click this gear icon and open this API rules. In this create rule, we leave this empty to grant access to everyone. Even if they are not logged in into our application, they can create record, and this can create a serious problem in our application if we leave this empty. If you want only users who are authenticated can create or can add record in our post collection, just write at request.auth.id is not equal to empty. We can only add record in our post collection if the request.auth.id is not empty. Okay, save these changes. For reference on adding rules in our collection, just go to this PocketBase documentation and click this API rules and filters section right here. So we have here API rules, okay, full list rule, view rule, create rule, update rule, and the delete rules. So for now, I'll just comment this one, and let's try to add record in the post collections. Var post equals post. So that one is this post collection right here. And then here at the bottom, pb.collection post.create name and a description to that post. Then I'll just console.log success. If there's an error, let's try to run this one. Okay, it displays success because this application has been authenticated in this line before. So let's try to log out first this application. So pb.authstore.clear. Okay, you can also see that in this authentication section right here. We have here at the bottom to log out the last authenticated account, pb.authstore.clear. We make sure that we have log out first and see what is the error if we add record to that post collection for an unauthenticated user. So let's try. Okay, so it says here that client response error, failed to create a record. We failed to create a record because our user is not authenticated. So to do that, we'll copy this one and paste here in our after we authenticate a user. I'll just change this to error function. We'll just first delete this record right here. Let's try to run this again. So it displays success. So after we authenticate our user, it tries to add this record in our post collection. And since we are authenticated already in this callback, as expected, we can successfully add record to our post collection. So if we refresh our post collection right here, we now have added our post record in this collection. Okay, so that's all in this video. Stay tuned for more upcoming videos in this DroidScript Cloud Services series.